Okay, originally we were gonna try to see Sucker Punch, but that wasn't playing. So I was down at my alma mater visiting my old college roommate. Had a phenomenal Euro plate at Wildberries in Bloomington Normal. So, anyways, I guess on to Scream 4. I really enjoyed the first Scream. The second Scream I thought was absolute tripe, so I never decided to watch the third one. This one, there are some moments where it's really genius. You know, when the killer gives the soliloquy of why the killer is doing this, and there's the idea of, I don't need friends. What I want is fans. And it was about kind of like the new idea of celebrityism and how with everyone being on the web, anybody can be a celebrity. It doesn't matter what you've done. It's like I was like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to go to college and get a job? No, if I do this, I'm a celebrity. That's it. I'm famous, and I can live off this for the rest of my life. That was pretty good. And the moments that are between Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox Arquette, and David Arquette are done really well. Beyond that, this is an above average slasher. It's cliche even to the point where it is self-aware of the cliches, but even now currently being self-aware is a cliche. Wes Craven also makes a dig at the Saw franchise. In one of the 3 opening vignettes, someone goes, "Where's your scary movie? What is it? Saw 4? I saw it in theaters. Oh, it's so stupid. You don't care about the characters who die. It's just body parts flying all over the place and nobody cares." That's when you realize that is actually the opening to Stab 6. It's 2 girls getting stabbed. Because Stab is the movie trilogy based upon what happens in the Scream movies. But ironically, what you're watching is the opening to Stab 6, which then cuts to Anna Paquin and Kristen Bell sitting on the couch discussing how stupid that is and how being self-aware is really stupid. But that's actually the opening to Stab 7. And now you're finally at the movie. Yes, so you go through 2 scenarios of 2 women being attacked. Go to the opening scenario of the movie, which is 2 women being attacked. Which sets up all the characters. Sydney, the Neve Campbell character, has finally written a book to help her move on from all of her past experiences. Gail, the Courtney Cox Arquette character, has kind of fallen off the radar. Dewey, the David Arquette character, is now the sheriff. So they've all kind of moved on. It's kind of like, the 3 remaining survivors have kind of all somewhat grown past this. Sydney goes back to Woodsboro to promote her book. Her book, essentially about moving on. So she runs into, her cousin and some of her friends, and they're getting the weird, "What's your favorite scary movie?" phone calls. Okay. They find out that 2 of their friends, were murdered. Stabbed to death. Okay. That's really weird. And as soon as it's revealed that they've been stabbed, everyone in the middle of class, all of their cell phones go off. I guess no one ever heard of Vibrate. One person, who is the random guy who uses a camcorder. Yes, I know Wes Craven makes a dig at the Saw movies for not really developing characters, but almost everyone here is a stand-up cardboard cutout of other slasher victims. You have the hot chick who has probably one of the better deaths. Almost everyone just gets stabbed in the back. You have Dude with Camera. You have Cinema Nerd. You have, bizarre ex-boyfriend. You have, uber innocent chick. You have her kind of rough around the edges friend. It's... When I saw it for $12 that I'll never ever get back, there was maybe 10 people in the theater. Of course, I saw it at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but you still would have expected that Scream would have more people going to go see it than, I don't know, Rio. So, beyond the killer soliloquy, and some of the little twists and turns here and there, which are stock, but Wes does a pretty decent job of them, and the moments between David Arquette, Neve Campbell, and Courtney Cox Arquette, there's really not a lot more going on with this movie. You know, the kills are not that inventive, except for the when the hawk girl gets killed because she gets stabbed to the point where the guy tears out her intestines. Then the inconsistency of being stabbed. The guy gets stabbed in the brain, like here, and he's able to stumble around and still get out a sentence. Okay. Someone gets stabbed in the back, and you know they're dead. There's really no, it's like, I'm sorry, and then they're done. Someone gets stabbed in the back, in the chest, and in the stomach, and still has enough left in him to scream out the word "run" and like walk upstairs. I'll give kudos for one other thing too. Hayden Panettiere does mention that she makes a joke that she has powers. So yeah, a nice riff about her in Heroes. So all in all, it's a decent slasher. Some of the self-awareness parts get kind of meh. Some of the, you know, to really make the killer unique, he's videotaping his kills, so he's making the movie while he's doing the killing. Okay. They're like, oh, it's so meta. When you make jokes about being self-aware, it just felt really just weighed down by trying to be as smart as the original one was, with almost kind of failing to do so. So, if you're a fan of the original three, this one's not bad for setting up an additional trilogy, if Wes Craven wants to go that route. So, out of most slasher flicks, it's decent. It's nothing awesome, it's nothing groundbreaking like the first one. So I'm gonna get into spoilers. So I've seen a lot of bad movies, and this one's, you know, middle of the road. It's nothing really super over the top. When it starts going really well, it starts dropping back ridiculously fast. So here we go into the spoilers. Does Hayden Panettiere die? Yes. She just gets stabbed by one of the two killers. Corey Culkin, who is Cinema Nerd, and Jill, who is Sydney's cousin, who is innocent survivor girl. They're revealed to be, and her soliloquy is the whole, you know, I don't want friends, I just want fame and fortune. Why would I waste my time trying to get like a regular job? Nobody cares about that. Everyone lives around the internet. You know, this is what you do nowadays if you want to become rich and famous. She, of course, stabs Corey Culkin. They then try to make it look like, you know, Trevor, her creepy ex-boyfriend, did it. She also stabs Sydney a couple of times. Then when she's done, and the bodies are all taken care of, she then removes the duct tape from Trevor's hands and feet, because they had him bound so he couldn't run away or to do anything. She then takes his hand and, like, you know, scratches her face, rips out some of her hair with Trevor's hand, puts the knife that she just finished using with her own bare hands into his hand, but not after she finished stabbing herself in the shoulder. And then she runs headfirst into a picture frame to get glass in her face, and then decides to jump backwards into a glass table. So that way she can be the only survivor. Oh, it'd be so great and so clear she's the only survivor of this horrible, horrible tragedy. So you get a picture taken, she's so excited about it. And then they cut to the next scene. She's in the hospital, and there's Dewey, you know, telling her what's going on. You know, it's okay, you're gonna be fine. How's Gail doing? You know, she's gonna survive, okay. When you write a book, we both have, you know, the same injury. But there was never reported where Gail was stabbed. So when Dewey goes back to tell Gail, yeah, you know, I just know I was stabbed in the shoulder. But before that happens, she's like, yeah, too bad Cindy didn't survive. Oh, no, she might pull through, you know, it's touch and go, but she might make it through. Jill then decides, no, it can't end that way. She then goes into Sydney's room and begins to try to strangle her. She probably mentioned she's like half the size of Sydney, of Neve Campbell. Neve Campbell was able to kind of fight her off until Jill decides to work the giant gaping stomach wound she's got from being stabbed in the stomach a couple of times. She even manages to kind of throw her into like a glass cabinet front. So up and off the ground and like into cabinetry like this height. And it's like, wait a minute, you're ridiculously tiny. She's able to fight her off. Dewey comes in. She beats Dewey half to death with a bedpan. She then begins to threaten Gale, as well as I think Marley Shelton is her name, who is one of the other police officers, and gets her gun. So a little girl who's lucky if she weighs 100 pounds has now got 4 adults essentially pinned down with the use of a gun. Shoots one of them. Is getting close to shoot Gale. Dewey's unconscious on the floor. She then takes like 400, I think it's kilojoules, whatever, like the highest thing you get on a defibrillator is, to the brain. Yes, they put on both sides, and zap her. She falls down, so the 3 original Scream survivors are there. It's great, it's done, she's finished. She gets back up. So the regular little girl who just got like 400 kilojoules to the brain, where there was smoking but no burn marks, gets right up. Grabs a piece of broken glass. They then shoot her. So those 3 survive, and then Marley Shelton stands up and reveals that she had on a vest. So the bullet didn't kill her. And then those 3 become the only survivors, but the media doesn't know this yet. So all the media's in front of the hospital talking about Jill. This wholesome American girl who's going to be out of the minds of everybody. She was the sole survivor of this horrible massacre. So I guess the killer's primary motive was to become famous. Different. But, with like a 15-year break, you'd expect Wes would have had something a lot more entertaining than this. And that's Scream 4.